Hi friends, I hope you have a wonderful day, and this time I'm gonna be reacting to 1 in a million F1 moments. In the thumbnail I saw an animal, so that's interesting. But yeah, let's check it out.
Hamilton's going to be the only one who's going to start this race.
Who let the dogs out?
From animals stopping sessions,
There's a lizard again on the track.
to photo finishes you need a microscope to judge. These are 1 in a million F1 moments. We always ask who's fastest on track. Lewis in Singapore, Max in Brazil.
The world champion strikes back. Max Verstappen wins the Sao Paulo Grand Prix in 2024.
Nah, Perez on the brakes. I mean, come on. What even are we without those unpredictable, ridiculous, sometimes adorable little creatures that barge into our lives just to leave behind a memory we'll carry to the grave? Just like him, but
The last one even looked kinda unreal.
Bahrain, back when everyone was wearing masks, barbecues were happening on track, and Ferrari were fucking up harder than ever.
Charles Leclerc! And that is a very big accident.
And somehow, despite all that, Vettel managed to drag a podium out of Turkey. My guy had the upward arrow energy. Unlike Albano. As you can see, my boy needed a reality strike. And in FP2, he personally delivered it.
Oh. He's still
This
rolling.
hurts to watch. Marshals took 10 minutes to clear all the debris, and once the session restarted, everyone assumed things would go back to normal. Wrong. Barely moments after the cars got rolling again, another red flag was thrown. Yeah, a full-speed, four-legged, tail-wagging missile just sprinting across the straight like it was going for pole. Nobody knew where the hell it came from, but there it was, on the timing screen, possibly outpacing Latifi. And then Seb, bless him, gets on the radio and drops the punchline.
Who let the dogs out?
Iconic, absolutely iconic. However, after that, everything just froze. Turns out
But like seriously, from where? Where did he came from?
the dog was just astray, lost, alone, and somehow in the middle of an F1 weekend, she didn't belong there, and yet gave us a moment we'll never forget. The circuit rescued her and even tweeted her photo like she was part of the grid. And maybe, just maybe, for a beautiful moment, she was part of the family. I mean, even the Baja men came back for this, sort of. And hey, if these people can make a comeback, why not Oasis? Never mind. The most iconic brothers of the early 2000s were back. Well, the most iconic brothers right after these two maniacs who were racing in F1, of course. On one side, Michael, the older sibling. 7 world titles on his resume and more water than blood running through his veins.
The Spanish Grand Prix.
Schumacher gets his 7th
Oldest sibling.
World Championship on a truly eventful day.
On the other, Ralph, the little one, with different tendencies, let's say. Talented, without a doubt. Feared, not exactly. While Michael carved a dynasty in red, Ralph was busy trying to prove he wasn't just the other Schumacher. And most of
I actually didn't know that he had a brother. Had.
the time, that was the reality. Michael dominated the headlines. Ralph got mentioned. But every now and then, the script flipped. One of them, Canada 2001. A weekend where the Schumacher bloodline basically said, screw it, let's run this like a family business.
Go! Michael Schumacher gets away when his brother gets away. Michael Schumacher on the inside of the left. Yes, it's a good start for the Canadian Grand Prix.
Ferrari must be waiting for Michael. He will go straight down the pit lane.
And Ralph Schumacher takes the lead in the Canadian Grand Prix, and he knows now that he's got to go as fast as he possibly can. So this is the crucial point of the whole race. If they do a nice clean stop, and the Williams team are very experienced at the wheel, Ralph Schumacher comes out of the pit lane now, and there is Michael in the background. Ralph Schumacher rejoins the circuit, and a roar of approval from the crowd. Ralph Schumacher wins the Canadian Grand Prix for Williams, for BMW, for Michelin, and of course for himself.
Ralph, yes, Ralph won that race. And Michael, he came second. That meant 2 things. First, the apprentice finally outran the master, and second, it was the first ever 1-2 finish for brothers in F1 history. 2 kids who grew up racing karts in Kirpen, now standing on the podium in Montreal. How crazy is that? And yet, there they were, in a spot many families tried to reach, from the Rodriguez's to the Fittipaldis to today's Leclerc. They all tried, but
Leclerc has a brother. I don't know nothing about them, I guess.
Only the Schumachers made it. It sent a clear message. Danke Mama, danke Papa. For the mornings, for the sacrifices, and for making us believe in magic. From the rule of three in communications to the Holy Trinity in Christianity, the number 3 pops up in ways that shape our perceptions and understanding of the world. In F1, we've seen it in so many bizarre, unforgettable ways, I've lost count. Beginning in the final race of the 1997 season, and it wasn't like any other finale. Just one single point separated the 2 championship contenders. Everything would be decided in Spain, which at the time is funny because this wasn't even supposed to be the season finale. Estoril was set to host it, but renovation works fell behind schedule, so Perez stepped in. Saturday, Jacques heads out early in quali and lays down a killer lap. 1:21.072. Fastest so far. 14 minutes later, Schumi hits back. Exact same time. Not close. Identical. Impressive, right? Would have made a great headline if Frentzen hadn't crossed the line right before him and literally matched the exact pole time again. 3 drivers, 2 teams, 1 time. Perfection. Normally, Monaco's a slow-moving parade. This time, though, we had an unexpected guest appearance. Pluie. Damon snatches the lead. Jos gambles on slicks in the wet and immediately becomes lawn decor.
Schumacher's away well. Damon Hill is closing up. Alesi and Berger in the 2 Benettons now. What's happening further forward? It's the Williams leading. Damon Hill has got ahead of Michael Schumacher. We didn't see it properly, but already the arrows is out.
Then Schumacher buries it in the wall at Portier.
And that's Schumacher. Michael Schumacher is out of the Monaco Grand Prix before the first lap has even been completed.
By lap 3, the Principality is already decorated with multi-million-dollar scrap metal. Hill looked untouchable until his engine died in the tunnel.
And smoke out of the back of the Williams. This is going to be the first time that the Williams Hills failed to finish this year.
Damon Hill out of the Monaco Grand Prix.
Suddenly, Jean Alesi was out in front, briefly, before a loose wheel nut ended his run.
No, it's Alesi once again. What is going on? Alesi has a problem.
And we're going to see yet another leader here. And the Ligier goes through. We have another new leader in Monaco.
That left Frenchman Olivier Panis starting 14th in control. Behind him, Irvine triggered a 3-car pileup with Salo and Hakkinen.
Irvine spins into sight in the Ferrari.
And
that's Irvine and Salo and Hakkinen.
Reducing the field to a ridiculous 3 cars. Panis, Coulthard and Herbert. And no, it's not just a 90s thing. Almost 20...
But like, in the streets, it's really hard to drive. It's so narrow, and the angles they need to drive, and ooh, and it looked very wet, so yeah, ooh. But like, I like every time when when I can see they are showing their frustration with their arms. You know.
24 years later, Silverstone would knock on the door again. I've got to say, apart from a couple crashes, the race wasn't doing much. Until the closing laps turned into a horror show.
At the moment, and what's happened to Valtteri Bottas? He's gone wide, and now Max Verstappen can see the Mercedes and can see him in his rear wing. He has passed, and he's got tyre problems as well. Has Carlos Sainz, who's going to be passed now by his teammate Lando Norris. But they're all struggling now with tyre wear, and Sainz's tyres completely gone.
At least Lewis was on the last lap. Everything felt secure. And then, boom.
I think something happened to my left tire also.
Hamilton is winning the Grand Prix, but look at the state of that Mercedes car.
I'm staggered they didn't bring that car in to protect against that. It was only going to be a fraction behind the other car.
Pitting, not an option. Slowing down, also questionable. There was only one way to finish. Drag that wounded beast to the line. So he kept going on 3 wheels. At the same time, Max was flying. Delta dropping fast.
Oh my God.
Spiking.
Lewis Hamilton praying that the checkered flag comes as soon as is humanly possible. As down the hanger straight comes Lewis Hamilton. Verstappen just coming through. You can see him in the background.
Until
7th British Grand Prix victory for the most wins at home. It's Lewis Hamilton who takes the race. Max Verstappen comes home to take 2nd.
Oh, sake, mate.
He's a lucky boy. He's a lucky boy.
Pretty sure these days Lewis wouldn't even bother trying that.
I'm just useless.
Team LH
Stop. I'm still sad about exactly that video. It's it's heartbreaking, really.
Calls that one a miracle, and they still call
But
Hungary
that was
2021 a calamity. Lights out, wet track, and before we even reach turn 1, Bottas decides to go for the rare multi-car combo speed run.
And in touch. We've got cars all over the road and off the road there. 5 cars, 6 cars, and more contact there between the Ferrari and...
Sorry, guys.
The man dives into the corner with all the grace of a shopping trolley on ice, locks up, skates straight into Norris, and triggers the kind of chain reaction you usually only see in Domino's videos on YouTube. Red flag, everyone's confused. The pit wall's on fire. Then came the restart. Conditions dried up during the red flag, so naturally everyone switched to slicks. Every driver except one.
Hamilton's going to be the only one who's going to start this race. Well, the rest have all got to wait in the pit lane until Hamilton goes past, and then they can rejoin the race. What Hamilton needs to do here is to get as far ahead as possible.
It looked like the game had glitched and forgotten to load the rest of the field. Lights out, and Hamilton launches into his ghosts.
For Lewis Hamilton only, the race leader is the only driver who's not come into the pit lane to change tyres. Now he can race full blast down towards turn 1. There's nobody behind him, and through he goes.
1 lap later, he pits for slicks, rejoining dead last, and that's when the fun begins.
Esteban Ocon takes the lead. Sebastian Vettel goes through. When Hamilton comes out into this race, he's now going to feel right in the back, because that's where he is.
He started carving through the field, late dives, perfect exits, surgical overtake, all pulled off with flawless execution, until the legend himself appeared. Gen Z calls him El Nano.
Going out of turn 1, Hamilton trying to go around the outside, here into turn 2, does brake later this time, not late enough. Alonso stays ahead. Alonso somehow is keeping Hamilton at bay. This is incredible. Comes Hamilton, he just backed off a little bit too early, but Alonso has locked up. This is Hamilton's chance. This has been coming for a few laps now. You can hear the cheers from the crowd. Hamilton is up into 4th place, but he's still got to defend it. Alonso tried to go round the outside, wasn't quite alongside him, and Hamilton is now released from behind the Alpine.
By the time the checkered flag fell, Hamilton was P2, from dead last. And yeah, he nearly rode in Esti Besti for the win, but Alpine held on, and Ocon delivered the biggest flex of his life.
Esteban Ocon is going to be a Grand Prix winner in Formula 1. Ocon wins the Hungarian Grand Prix.
It was messy, it was magical, and it was the kind of performance that felt like a love letter to his idol, Ayrton Senna. Donington, 1993. Cold, wet, brutal.
I love this video. There is so many interesting stuff. Oh. Damn.
The sort of day where half the grid's already praying for a safety car before turn 1. But Senna, different story.
European Grand Prix. Prost gets away well, so does Hill, so does Schumacher, and Wendlinger is coming up well. Senna is crowded out and is down to 5th position. And Ayrton Senna is up to 4th position ahead of Schumacher and challenging Wendlinger as they go round the right-hander into the old hairpin. Senna is up to 3rd.
Mention at Redgate, he's going inside Damon Hill, and Senna into 2nd place already.
And Senna goes through into the lead. He's passed Alain Prost, so the McLaren leads.
While everyone else was tiptoeing like it was black ice, he was 2 corners ahead, both in his head and on the stopwatch. He started 5th, and by the end of the first lap, he was in 1st. Not because of a crash or a lucky pit call. He passed 4 world-class drivers like it was nothing. Just clean, surgical overtakes on a track that was sketchy AF. Here's the crazy part. Senna wasn't even in the best car. His McLaren had a Ford V8 engine, which was decent, but nothing special. Meanwhile, Prost and Hill were driving the Williams Renault, easily the fastest and most advanced car on the grid that year. That thing was the F1 version of a cheat code. By the time the rain let up, he lapped everyone except Damon, who was running 2nd. Let me repeat that. Everyone. That's not dominance. That's a public execution. And then came lap 57. He ramps up the pace, dives into the pit lane, only to find his crew completely unprepared. So he just blasts straight through without stopping.
Senna is coming into the pits. Ayrton Senna now he can come into the pits and take an enormous amount of time. He's gone straight through. What on earth is happening?
That lap fastest of the entire.
Can you do that? But I guess it makes more sense than just wait when they will get ready. What?
Race. My guy wasn't human that day. Oh, and guess what trophy he got for all of that? A gold Sonic statue. Am I the only one who thinks that's epic? Every driver
What? I love that trophy. Oh my.
probably
nice.
remembers their first crash, except Maldonado.
Drifting and there it's gone.
Oh.
He's probably lost count. However, Sebastian Buemi, well, he surely remembers the day his
Who's he? I don't know him.
car decided to quit life. Not a single warning before. He's heading into turn 14 in China 2010. Then suddenly, boom.
Oh! What?
At 185 miles per hour, both front wheels decide they have better places to be. He goes straight into
How? How? What?
the barriers like a missile with no target. The reason? Turns out the steering knuckles failed. Both sides at once. Welcome to F1, where weird stuff isn't a glitch, it's a feature. The part that really gets me, he did nothing wrong. These kind of incidents remind us how humbling and unfair F1 is sometimes. And still, credit to Buemi. He bounced back, went on to become a
Seriously, that kind of looks, again, unreal. What? Oh my.
Formula E MVP.
Sebastian Buemi won here for the first time in Formula E.
A WEC legend, genuinely top tier. But his F1 highlight reel, mostly one very cursed episode of Final Destination, Suspension Edition. So yeah, some drivers spin, others send it into a wall. Surely after these incidents, you'd think F1 would start taking safety measures a little more seriously, right? Nah, they let a 17-year-old have the keys for an F1 car. Rules are made to be broken. But this was not the case. He made the FIA rewrite them. Let's rewind to Suzuka 2014. Rain everywhere, pressure in the air, and a teenager about to flip the sport on its head. Because that weekend, 17-year-old Max Verstappen made his first official F1 appearance. Free practice 1 with Toro Rosso. Now, pause. Let that sink in. At 17, most of us are learning to park. Max was already bombing into turn 1 at 185 miles per hour like it was a school run. And he certainly set a mark. Because before Max, the record for the youngest F1 driver belonged to Jamie Alguersuari. 19 years old, made his debut with Toro Rosso in 2009. Pretty normal, right? But now we're talking about an underage kid. That wasn't just breaking the record. That was speedrunning the entire sport. Suddenly, the FIA was scared that they'd let someone so young enter the sport and decided to create a new rule. Minimum age 18 for a super license, set to apply in 2016. It wasn't official, but everyone called it the Verstappen rule. And boy, he took it seriously, because just 2 years later in Spain 2016, he won his first race.
The sun is out, the smiles will be out. At 18 years and 227 days old, Max Verstappen wins a Formula One Grand Prix, wins the Spanish Grand Prix, and is the youngest driver ever to win a Formula One World Championship Grand Prix.
Oh my god, he looks really young. Oh my god.
Winner in F1 history. However, as we've seen so many times before, the FIA eventually had to back down. After a decade, in 2024, a promising young prospect, also 17, was getting ready for that F1 license before driver's license energy. Mercedes Junior Kimi Antonelli. Except, he faced a wall Max accidentally built. So, the FIA did it again. New rule after a request to consider a little change. If you're under 17, but we think you're mature enough, you're in. Kind of a custom exception for the Italian. And he made it count. Miami 2025, Kimi takes sprint pole. Youngest ever at 18 too.
Kimi Antonelli gets ahead of all of them! The 18-year-old from Italy is the lead car!
Against a full grid of winners and hype trains, it wasn't luck, that was composure under pressure. Seems like a mindset every young driver has. Just like Max, he didn't show up to participate, he came to make history. And if there's one thing Italians know how to do, it's leave a mark. From the great Italian food to the racing track. Speaking of which, let's talk about Monza, the place where slipstream is not a tactic. It's a matter of survival.
But like, sometimes I'm thinking, how can you even get there? Like, what do you... I already understand that you had to race some type of, I don't know, go-kart or whatever before that. But how? Seriously, how? I know, I guess it was in F4 or F3, there was Latvian involved. I don't know if he is still there, but like, how can you get there? Seriously, how can you get there? It's interesting to me.
At Monza 1971, that wasn't a race. That was a full-on speed riot at 150 miles per hour. They were pure lunatics in rockets refusing to lift, breathe, or blink for 55 laps straight. Back then, there were no chicanes, no fuel saving, no tire strategies, no pit windows that made you say, trust the plan. The good old racing. They just sent it every single lap. I mean, the average speed was 150.75 miles per hour, and that race was everything we dream about seeing in F1 today. I'm serious. 5 drivers, Geffen, Peterson, Sever, Hailwood, Ganley, all stuck in one giant tornado of slipstreams. They weren't just overtaking once every few laps. They were even switching positions multiple times per lap. Genuinely, if you sneezed, you missed a pass. There were more than 25 lead changes. Not over the whole race, but within laps. Now picture this. Final lap, 5 cars all charging down the straight, nobody backing off, engines screaming. Peter Geffen nails the toe like an absolute MVP and crosses the line 0.01 seconds ahead of Ronnie Peterson. That's more than a photo finish. That's a glitch in the Matrix. And the best part, the top 5 was separated by just 0.61 seconds. This was Geffen's only F1 win ever, by the way. Dude came in, dropped the clutchest dub in history, and said, peace. There was no drama, no excuses. Just 5 maniacs going full throttle, and somehow it ended clean. Nothing compares to a close finish in a race. What's worse, losing a title by 1 point, or losing it because the rules got reinterpreted mid-race. Let's start with Brazil 2008. Felipe Massa was having the drive of his life. Pole, race lead, untouchable.
Massa on the left, Trulli on the right. Look out for Hamilton on the pit wall side. It's a cautious getaway from Hamilton. He's running down. Raikkonen is in front of him, and Hamilton is safely through turn 1. Massa is away and clear.
He takes the checkered flag.
He comes through to claim his 6th victory of the season. He has done everything he needed to do.
The crowd screaming like crazy. 17 years waiting for another Brazilian world champ. In Brazil, at home. You could hear the roar through your TV. But just a few corners back, Lewis Hamilton, who dropped to P6 earlier, was still fighting. The track was wet, tension through the roof, and Timo Glock was somehow still out there on slicks, skating around, and suddenly, boom.
Is that Glock? Is that Glock going slowly?
It is, it's Glock. Oh my goodness me, Hamilton's back in position again. 100,000 local hearts sink in the grandstands. It's handed the place back to Hamilton. He comes through, and if I'm absolutely right, I'm sure that he is going to claim 5th place, which is all he needs to do to become the 2008 Formula 1 World Champion, Lewis Hamilton.
5th place, 1 point. WDC. Ferrari's garage hugging each other, then the screen flashes. Hamilton, P5, gone. But the way Massa stood on that podium, no tantrum, just pure grace. He cried, sure, but he owned the moment. The whole country was behind him, and he took it like a champ. And Hamilton, speechless, literally.
Guys, I'm speechless. I'm speechless.
And James Allen tried to describe the moment.
You will never see a more dramatic conclusion to any motor race, let alone a Grand Prix, than that. And the result of it all is that Lewis Hamilton is the world champion.
However, he didn't know how wrong he was. 2021 Abu Dhabi. Now it's Hamilton in control. 7-time champ, cruising towards number 8 after a dominating race. Verstappen, quick, but not quick enough. Out of nowhere, Nicholas Latifi crashes.
Oh no! Nicholas Latifi has crashed.
Safety car? Yeah. Standard procedure? Not quite.
What's the situation behind? So, situation is, Verstappen has pitted. He had a free pit stop. Is he right behind me? He will be.
Michael Massey only lets the lapped cars between Max and Lewis unlap, leaving the rest in place.
Everybody up to Vettel are allowed to overtake Hamilton.
Lapped cars to overtake the safety car.
Suddenly, Max, who's on fresh softs, is right behind Lewis with old hards. 1 lap left. The race went from chess to checkered in seconds. Turn 5, Max dives in, takes the lead.
Is Verstappen far enough back? He's going to make the lunge down the inside. Hamilton sees it coming. It's a late lunge by Verstappen, who takes the lead of the race. Verstappen now snatches the championship trophy from Lewis Hamilton. They have shared a brilliant championship battle. When the championship can only be won by one, and it's going Dutch in 2021, Max Verstappen, for the first time ever, is champion of the world.
World champion.
But like, duh, he had a fresh soft, so the grip is much better.
And that's it. Mercedes protested. The FIA shrugged. Massey was removed after the season. And yeah, they even posted a long explanation after the fact. No apologies, just a report about the human error that played a role in the...
This is the moment where sometimes says that Lewis has one more World Championship win than actually has. I hope I'm making it sense. But like, I have seen that somewhere.
Race that cost Hamilton his 8th championship. 2 finales, 2 legends, 2 heartbreaks. Both lost a title they'd already earned. Sure, the FIA's made big controversy when taking decisions on the final race of a championship, but nothing compares to when it rains. Belgium 2021. It was raining non-stop, like cartoon level rain. Visibility was pretty close to 0. The track looked like soup, and the FIA kept stalling like a kid trying to avoid doing homework. First, they delayed it, then again, then again. After a while, it just felt like they were waiting for the rain to magically
after a day
go away out of pure stubbornness. And after hours of this, they finally sent the cars out. Not to race, no. They did 3 laps behind the safety car. Not a single green flag, not even a real formation lap. 3 slow motion laps with only 2 counting towards the final result. That's it. And somehow, they called that a race. There was even a podium. And the funniest part, Russell got his first podium ever without overtaking anyone. Even he looked like he couldn't believe it. The day wasn't just disappointing. It was a full-on shambles. A chalk it moment.
What is that?
But then, you look at Canada...
Seriously? What was the point of it? What? So laughable. What the heck?
2011. Same element, rain. And you realize how great the racing becomes when it rains. It started normalish. Then it got wild. Crashes, safety cars, strategy mess. Then boom, red flag. Not 10 minutes, 2 hours. And somehow through all this madness, Jenson Button was locked in. Even though he got a drive-through, collided with Hamilton.
Oh, no, McLaren's touch. That is, well, Lewis Hamilton obviously with suspension damage, puncture.
Pitted 6 times and was running dead last at one point. He
pitted 6 times, what?
He went full clutch mode, started making moves, picking off cars, lap by lap. By the time he got behind Vettel, you could feel something coming. Final lap, Seb cracks, runs wide.
Jenson Button driving for his life, driving for the victory. Has Vettel got what it takes to hold him off?
I think Vettel's got wide.
Yeah,
he's got wide.
He turned in too late. He got the tyres. Button leads the Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel turned in.
Button takes the lead and wins.
Into the pit straight. He wins a brilliant race. It's a sensational drive for Button. What a victory.
He led for literally half a lap. That's it. That's the win. Straight up felt like the script of a movie. That was F1 at its most chaotic and its most beautiful. Because sometimes it only takes 1 lap or none at all to become a legend in the most unpredictable sport on Earth. And what else could be more unpredictable than woes? That's right, nothing. So make sure to watch my latest video on those legends. And as always, thank you for watching.
Yeah, this was so fun. This was so fun. I really enjoyed this video. Oh my. But seriously, the tires, when they popped off both the fronts. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my god. Yeah. I hope that you did enjoy this video as well, and if you did, please consider to leave a like and subscribe. And yeah, if you have some suggestions for me, please feel free and leave it in Discord server. And yeah, hopefully I'm gonna see you next time. Bye.